Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, so we want to welcome us back to the second segment of this training. And without further delay, we are going to proceed to from where we stopped just shortly before we went on the short break. We were looking at the governance structure of the Islamic Cooperative. And we have talked about the membership structuring as well as the governance, the management structuring. So that's where we stop. There is also the Sharia governance structuring. Like we have said that issue of Sharia compliance is very, very cardinal to the Islamic Cooperative Society. So there are some Sharia governance that you must also put in place and observe in your cooperative practices. One of them, which is the chief of them, is the Sharia compliance practice. What this implies is that every activity of your cooperative must be Sharia compliant. In fact, let me give you one simple scenario that you come for the AGM, in your sitting arrangement, as a matter of Sharia compliance, you are expected to ensure that there is separation, and you avoid intermingling of male and female members. So this is very, very important. That is the extent to which the issue of Sharia compliance is very much significant in your activities. Likewise, the issue of zakah obligations. As an Islamic cooperative, you are expected to pay zakah on the dividends if it's up to a kind of a zakat of business, if it's up to nisab. So you pay it on the general shares, on the general dividend that is, profit made before you declare dividends to members. This is very, very important. So there are provisions concerning the business zakah. So your Sharia compliance officer will be required to guide you properly on this. Likewise, we also mentioned Sharia auditing. Whatever activities you have done over the year, just like you undertake financial auditing annually, you are also expected to undertake Sharia auditing. Then your activities, if you say you are carrying out services, whatever, it is expected that you design your services to be in form of products, and which must be Sharia compliant. These products include murabaha, which is called cost plus sales. Musharaka, you can have a musharaka contract in the course of financing with members who have a kind of business. So you can go into musharaka with them, or mudoraba, or salam contract, or istisna. So all of these, they are instruments that will be well known to an Islamic cooperative, and you operate your activities based on all of these products. And you must ensure that in implementing these products or tools, you ensure that you observe Sharia compliance. I gave an example of some Islamic cooperative who will claim that they are using murabaha, but what they are using is just murabaha by name, but rather they are engaging in a riba transaction, because murabaha has its clearly stipulated procedure that must be observed. If you want to use murabaha and you send money to the member without clarity that you are appointing him as your agent, that will be against the principle of Muraba. I hope we'll be able to have time to talk more about this when we are discussing the issue of Islamic products for Islamic cooperative. So this is about the Sharia governance that must also be observed by Islamic cooperative. Likewise, we must also understand as Islamic cooperative managers the nature of the fund structuring of our cooperative. How do we make our cooperative to be financially stable, to have fund with which we will do business and thereby be able to enrich our members? This is very, very important. So that is why we need to talk about the fund structuring. How do we structure the fund of the cooperative? Just 1 minute, please. So now, the fund structuring, if you want to structure your fund, the fund of your cooperative properly to be financially stable and have money to do business so that the fear of if you are not charging administrative whatever will be allayed. Number one is there must be clear statement of the shareholder of the cooperative. That is, what is the nominal shares of your cooperative? I've had occasion to ask many cooperatives about this. What is the share worth, the nominal share? That, if you want to register a company now, they will say the nominal share of this company is 1 million, is 500,000, is 2 million, is 5. Like that also, your cooperative must have nominal shares. If it's 1 million shares, you will know that that is the shares you have by which you are registered. So failure to have your nominal share, clear statement of shareholding of the cooperative will make it difficult for your cooperative to be strongly structured for it to have financial backup. Secondly, there must be clarity of each share worth. What is the value of your share? If you have 1 million shares and you say one share is 10,000 naira. So I don't know how much that is going to give us. We can calculate. So a 1 million share at 1,000 naira. 10,000 naira. So we are going to add another 004. So we are going to have like 100 is it 1 billion or how much are we going to have? So what matters is that the value of your share will determine how much you expect your cooperative to have as its financial base. Then you must also understand that in the fund of the cooperative that you have, different purposes are attached to each of the fund. We have what is called business fund. That is the fund that the cooperative will be used to run its businesses. Where do they get it? That is the share capital. Your share, whatever share you sell every year, that is the share capital. Is meant for you to use it to run the businesses of the cooperative. Not that you are going to be taking from the savings of members, or you'll be borrowing here and there before you do business. Your share capital is your business fund, and it must be used effectively. So for that reason, Shares once subscribed to by a member is non-refundable, but can be transferred just like any share of the company. So if anybody wants to cease to be a member, it's not that you are going to a kind of transfer, refund the money of his share, but rather you look for another member to buy the shares in a way. So this must also be done. Secondly, we have the savings fund. The savings fund, the savings that members make with the cooperative, one of the anomalies is that that savings is usually made to be for circulation of loans. This is very, very erroneous. Because when a member is saving, when you are doing a saving anyway, it means you are saving for your need, so that when you have the need, you have access to it. Not the one that the cooperative now turned savings to something that members cannot have access to, except if you also want to benefit by asking for a kind of a loan. So the savings is for withdrawal at will, not for loans. Members should be able to have that freedom that I'm saving, and whenever I need my money, I can at a click. When we get to the IT aspect of cooperative, so you will see your member, without contacting anybody, on their portal, they will have a place where they will apply to withdraw their savings. And within 24 hours, if you are using online banking system, you should be able to pay to the member the saving that he has applied for. So in that regard, you need to properly brand your saving packages to even encourage members to save. You remember, we have said that one of the objectives of Islamic law is al-mal, property. Cooperative also has the responsibility to assist members to have savings as part of the way of acquiring some kind of property, cash flow. So in that regard, you structure your savings so that each member will know, okay, I want to save for this. Oh, I'm saving this for this. Don't let me dig my hand into the purse of this saving, because it's meant for this purpose. So you can have ad savings. In fact, one of the things that I want to encourage our cooperative is for us to take up this ad savings. I believe personally that better than any other institution, the institution that is in the best position to achieve this ad saving issue, stuff for Nigeria, is the cooperative. If every cooperative has the Hajj saving properly well packaged, so members will know that they are saving for the Hajj. So you can partner with a private institution, or we partner with the state pilgrimage board, so that Hajj saving itself, you also put it into investment for members, so that it will be increasing. So members will have different purposes for which they save, and when they need their fund, their saving, they apply to the cooperative to get. One of the advantages to the cooperative is that you also entitled to have a fee for savings withdrawal, because you are rendering service to them. And which will also entail that you also undertake some expenses. The time you spend, the person that will sit on processing the savings, the bank charges, and all others. So you are entitled to get your withdrawal savings fee. It can be fixed depending on what you think will be enough for whatever amount that they withdraw. So that one will also be part of your income generation, which you can be used to run the affairs of the cooperative in place of the administrative charges. So you can have Hajj savings, Ramadan savings, family welfare savings, marriage savings for single ones among your members, or even the lady who is preparing to marry, maybe in the next 2 or 1 years, is hoping that she will be married. So she can begin to save if it's a member of your cooperative. Child care savings, healthcare, different package that, and this will assist the member to have financial plan. So, and in that regard, you are assisting them to have a better life as far as a financial prudence is concerned. Then you can also have loan service fund. You can have a fund that whoever among your members, if you want to continue with your loan, there should be a separate fund for that. So that whoever wants to subscribe to that fund, they will understand whatever policy you are using, that whatever amount they subscribe to that fund, they get twice of it, or whatever amount your cooperative decide. That should be separate. And those who subscribe to that, they also know that perhaps they cannot get the fund back until when they finally want to withdraw from benefiting from the loan. But the savings fund or the share capital should not be used for circulating loan. They are two different things that must not be mixed together. Then we also suggest that even if you want to continue with your loan and you have loan fund, you should rebrand the loan system to be in form of rotational model, just like thrift, because that is what we know that scholars have much more agreement with, because we have even the prophetic recommendation for something similar to that. Then we also know that in the payment of DIA, families are made to be responsible collectively. So that collective responsibility is the basis for the thrift rotational model, that just like within the friend, that is okay, we are contributing thrift within for 2 months. So, for 1 year. So you are going to benefit this year, I'm going to pack this year and all that. The cooperative should also have something similar like that. In fact, as a matter of fact, one of the very good business that our cooperative should go into is thrift collection. Cooperative who will be complaining that we don't have fund, we are not this. Look at those who are engaging in thrift collection, that people don't even know them, individuals. They go to the market. So cooperative can also package your thrift collection as a service, and you brand your employer, you ensure you do due diligence to be sure that they are reliable people, send them to the market to sell your thrift collection services to the market women. You will be amazed at the amount of money that you are going to get, and you will also have your clear agreement with them as to what is going to be the benefit to the cooperative. And in that regard, you are generating income that you will realize that at the end of the day, you don't even need that administrative charges if you engage in businesses that are bringing return. So likewise, you can have a kind of a fund worth model. Perhaps you just say, this is the amount that we get if we save in this loan fund. Then we also have a kind of cash workful model. Incidentally, next week, inshallah, I will be presenting a public lecture where I will be talking about a kind of synergy between workful and cooperative. So you may wish to attend that lecture. I will share the flyer later with you. So there, I will be addressing how you can also employ workful, cash workful, as a means of supporting your members for loan. Because that will even be much more reliable without, because they don't need to advance any benefit. Because the cash workful will be there for the purpose of benefiting those who genuinely need loan among them. And that would be a best way to bring an end to anything that can be controversial. Because other than using the cash work model for your loan, I'm not aware of any other means of loan services that cooperative will be rendering, which will not be full of controversy. But if it is cash workful, so the justification is there, because cash workful, the purpose of it are just two. Is either to be invested or to be circulated as a loan. So if you understand how you can use cash workful to cater for the loan needs of your members, that will be better, because a member does not even have to have saved certain amount of money before benefiting from it. And that is the real spirit of Corridor Hazard, because Corridor Hazard is supposed to be something that the beneficiary will get without necessarily advancing any consideration other than you want to support him benevolently. So cash workful is there for restructuring our loan fund and loan service fund. Now, so the loan cooperative fund that we need to understand, based on all of these are even based on the provision of the relevant law. And we have used the Kwara State law as a reference point here. What is cooperative fund, if we may ask? So cooperative fund is defined as all forms of money that can be in the custody of the cooperative for its use, management, or administration. Whatever money that comes to the purse of the care in the custody of the cooperative is the cooperative fund. They are now divided and classified into different forms and for different purposes. So we have what we call collective cooperative fund. The cooperative, the fund that belongs to every member of the cooperative, that is the share capital. And we can see this under section 10.2.1 of the Cooperative Societies Law of Kwara State. Then we have members' individual cooperative fund. The fund of the members is their savings. It doesn't belong to the cooperative for its use. So it's more or less like you inflicting on the rights of the members when you are using their savings for purposes other than what they need it for. Then there is also joint members association cooperative bond, which is business returns. So there is provision for reserve fund, which is to be at least 1/4 of the net profit. Because there are some funds that the law requires that you must also preserve. Before you declare dividend, from the net profit, you reserve all those things. For instance, the reserve fund is meant to cater for bad debt. Assuming you use financing, and in the course of that, there are defaults in one way or the other. So for such default, in order not to affect the fund of the cooperative, the share capital, so you make up for it from the reserve fund. And that is why before you declare dividend, not less than 1/4 of the net profit. For instance, if your net profit is 16 million, for instance, so you divide it into 4, which means 4 million must go to the net reserve fund before you declare dividend. Likewise, we have loans facility fund. The one that we have talked about, that you should have your loan fund as different from the savings of member. Even under the law, it is illegal for you to use savings of member as loan, because there is provision for loan facility fund that you must have separately in your cooperative to cater for loan, which is under section 10(3) of the law. Then there's also third-party fund. This is one of the sources of income which the cooperative can get. And this is where you can attract cash workful. The non-member, those who are not members, the law allows them to deposit fund with the cooperative, or they give loan without interest for the Islamic Cooperative under section 34. So if they make deposit available for you, they can make it available for you to use it as cash workful, by which you are going to use it to circulate loan to members, even if it's going to be business loan, to empower your members. So as a cooperative, you also look for friends of the cooperative. You must have friends of your cooperative who are not members, but who can support your members financially. So the fund you get from them is called third-party fund. So these are some of, it's also part of the fund of the cooperative. Then we have what is called common good fund. This also is a statutory requirement that you distort 10% of the net profit balance after 1/4 for reserve fund. So these are some of the accounting that we need to understand in the cooperative. When you conclude your business, so you have deducted the gross profit, you deduct all the expenses, it now remains net profit. So in the net profit, you divide the net profit into 4. For the example of 16 million that I gave, then you deduct 4 million, you are going to be left with 12 million. So that 12 million from it, you will now deduct 10% of 12 million. 10% of 12 million, I think, is going to be 120,000, if I'm not mistaken, or 1.2. Is it 120,000? I think it will be 1, because 100,000 will be for 1 million. So 12 million is going to
1.
be, right? So 10% of that net profit balance after 1/4 for you will now, you have deducted for reserve fund, you deduct 1/4 for reserve fund. Then after that, 10% of the balance, which is 12 million now, that is 1.2, we now go to common good fund. So this common good fund is also something that you can use to support the welfare of your members. So all of this is because we don't do them properly. That's why we always think that until when we use the savings of members, or it's only when members will use the savings to cater for these loans of the member. There are some other funds that are also recognized by law, which can be beneficial to the members. So I hope that is clear. Now we can see from the summary that the classes of cooperative fund are 6. 1, we have collective cooperative fund. We have the individual members fund, which is saving. Then we have reserve fund, which is also stated in section 65 of the regulation. I mentioned the other time that the regulation is one of the things that you as a cooperative manager must be conversant with the relevant regulation of the state where you operate. Then loan facility fund, which is different from saving. Then we have the third party fund, which can be in form of deposit or loans. Then common good fund. So these are the funds that we must ensure we structure them properly. Now, how do we make earnings for members? How do we generate income for members? So that they will have value for their membership of the cooperative. And when we are talking that a cooperative should be a business, everybody will be happy that, yes, we want to do business. Because no member will say they don't want you to generate income for them. So how do you structure it that will be generating income for them? 1, you through the dividend earnings. Dividend is is shared to members after deduction of reserve fund and the common good fund. Whatever remains will now be declared as fund. There's other deduction also, including the deduction for education fund also. There's also education reserve, which you have to use. Oh, okay, the reserve fund also have some specification, certain amount will be used for education, whatever. So we are not dealing with the accounting of the cooperative this time around. That will be another training entirely, where we are going to analyze some of those other issues. Now, dividend, you let members know that these are the way by which we can make profit for you. When you patronize the business of the cooperative, we make more income. And the more income we make, the more dividend that can be declared for you. The dividend depends on the share that a member is subscribed to. For instance, if after deduction of 1.2 million from 12 million, I think you are going to be left with 10.8 million. Now, if all the shares of all your members so far subscribed to for that financial year, let's assume it's 50,000. It means that 12 million naira, you are going to divide it into 50,000. You will say 12 million divided by 50,000, which is the number of the shares. So whatever it gives you is going to be to the dividend that will go to each share. So once you tell a member that we have declared a dividend of, let's say, 1,000 naira per share, then a member that knows that he only has 2 shares with the cooperative, we know that his dividend for that year is going to be how much? That is 2,000 naira. A member that subscribed to 10,000 share, 10,000 share, we know that his share for that will be 10,000 times 1,000, whatever it is. So, and that is going to be how we share our dividend. Then another thing is bonuses earnings. You can have a policy that minimum, like you have said, that every member is required as a matter of responsibility to patronize the business of the cooperative not less than 3 times within a financial year. Now, for whoever now patronizes the business of the cooperative per patronage after the 3 mandatory one, you may now say that there are certain amount of the profit before declaring the dividend will be for bonuses. And you will not decide, perhaps in a financial year, there are 100 bonuses apart from the 3 compulsory ones. So whatever you reserve for the bonuses will now be divided into 100. So each member will not get from that bonuses based on the number of times they have further patronized the business of the cooperative. So if somebody had extra 5 patronage of the business of the cooperative, if you divide the amount you earmarked for the bonuses into 100, so whatever it is, you multiply it by 5, and that is going to be its own benefit. It's also a way of encouraging members to patronize the business of the cooperative, as well as a way of generating personal income for members. Also, there could be incentives, discounts, low prices for whatever they purchase. Because when you give them discount, it means you have conceded certain amount of money to them. It's also a way of generating income and generating wealth and circulating wealth. Then markups determinants. In your Murabaha, you can also have a policy that the markup, and this is allowed, that what you are going to have as the markups in the Murabaha will depend on the amount of down payment. The more the down payment, the lesser the markup. That if the down payment of somebody is 40% of the price, of the cost of the sale price, compared to somebody whose down payment is 20, you can say the markup will be maybe 20 for the one whose markup is 40, while 30 for the one whose markup is 20%. Then duration of financing can also determine in the Murabaha. These are allowed in the Murabaha structure. Then rewards for loyalty and commitment. You can also have a way of compensating whoever appears to be more loyal by giving award the most outstanding customer of the cooperative, who is also a member. You give him a reward. Maybe you buy something. So all of these, you can take care of them before declaring dividend. And also in some other form, you can also use it to take care of all of these. These are ways by which we can structure earnings for our members. Then it's also important for us to be clear about the regular financing schemes that we can have for our members, which may make them to see value for their membership. Number one is education financing. Our cooperative needs to have a product by which members can access financing for the education of their children as well as for themselves. For instance, as in your cooperative, if you see that most of your members, they are elites, they are degree holders, to encourage them to have postgraduate, you can have postgraduate financing products for them, which can be in form of Ijara. You can structure financing the education through the Ijara product. I mean, in Ijara's too. So the product will be postgraduate education financing. Then children education financing. How you structure that is another thing entirely. Then traveling and logistic financing. Members go from one state to the other. They go and for ticketing, transport fare, hotel, guest house accommodation. They want to travel out. They want to do this. You as a cooperative, you can have traveling and logistic financing for them, so that when they want to travel, they will know that you have a product. They don't need to be looking for agency, traveling agent. They come to the cooperative, you do everything for them, and you give it to them. What is the cost of the service you have rendered to them? So it's just for them to know the cost. Then they proceed on their travel with ease, without much fear. So this is part of it. Yes, house rent financing. I'm glad we mentioned something yesterday, that house rent is not something that must necessarily be satisfied by member through loan. It can also be a financing product of the cooperative. Ijara is there to structure all of this. Then healthcare financing, the NHIS that the government is doing. I hope I will be able to see the paper. I've written a paper on this, on how our cooperative can also structure their own internal healthcare financing that will be similar to the NHIS. So it's also something that we can do. If our cooperative is doing all of this, the cooperative will be so much engaged. And then we will see that truly the cooperative is a serious business. That's why it requires a lot of commitment. It's something that somebody can sit on and be carrying out the activities as a full job. Then the Ramadan and Eid Adha financing. So when the Ramadan comes, not just that you just say you buy food for whoever is interested. You can have your package that the financing we want to do for every member is within the range of maybe class A, 50,000, class B, 100,000, class whatever. Then you have what you want to buy for them to package. So that is the way to go about it. During the Ileya, you can buy RAM, a kind of financing for them, and they pay on installment. So these are some of the regular financing we should focus on. Then in our activities, we should carry out our activities through operation of a Sharia compliant bylaw. This is very, very important. And we use Sharia compliant cooperative accounting standard. This is still a challenge because up to now, the Ministry of Cooperative will be asking you to reflect that what amount of interest did you make, that you should just you should just what do we call it? That you should just put 0. Whereas riba, interest should not even reflect in the accounting standard of an Islamic cooperative. So, and that's why we said 0 interest cannot really be what we need, but non-interest, no interest at all. So not 0 interest, but 0 interest is also interest, and we don't need any form of interest in that. So somebody is asking, with all this, it is already a full-time job. That is it. and it is a business. So if the management do not have time to go into it full time, then they employ cooperative administrator. So this is where your cooperative administrator will be a full time, not just cooperative clerk. Most cooperative just appoint cooperative clerk just to keep record. No, you must have an administrator who will be fully in charge of all of this and will be on salary. He will be on salary, and that is going to be part of the expenses of the cooperative. So, okay, somebody raise up hand. Okay, please unmute yourself and talk. Or is it a mistake? Mr. Brother Monitor. Okay.
It's not a mistake. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, mine just a comment, though I just try to listen to Doctor, and the area I just want to make comment on is the area that you just mentioned on the issue of bylaw to be Sharia compliant. It's a major issue across the states for anyone that intend to do Islamic Cooperative. In fact, it's go beyond that. If you check the law across the 30 states, including FCT, what is that? I think training like this should be an avenue for all of us to put our expertise together to navigate this order. But the emphasis I normally place any training I conducted is to ensure that if you are Sharia compliant in your policies, your structure, your governance, and your dealings, inshallah, that bylaw issue will be overcome, inshallah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, people want to talk. Okay, let's have M. Mohibi. That's interesting. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
You have spoken a lot. In fact, it's difficult to even make comment again. I tell you. Now, let me just try one, two. First is in respect of the fund structuring. When you are talking about that fund structuring, I first of all believe that those lists you put there and that structure is not a cast in stone. So far that whatever somebody put down will be in line with Islamic injunction. First, if you look at when we are talking about savings, people's savings, then the capital, nobody will argue or say anything on say everybody must have capital. Now savings, I'm into a cooperative. Now we understand our segments of our members. We understand their pockets. And we believe and say, if I say I should say I want to raise a capital of 500 million, not that maybe I will not be able to see or try to see, but to be few people. Now I have many people and I want to bring them on board. And how can I achieve almost the same thing? Is, we want now structure and say, those structure that you put almost agree with our structure, but with a little bit adjustment, which I see as still the same at the end of the day. But it requires accounting aspect of it too. While under savings, we put our savings, we divided the savings into two. You know, you have where you mentioned several savings for Hajj, for marriage, for the rest. We term all of them, all those ones. That somebody already say in future, in 6 months' time, 1 year's time, I need this particular money to achieve a specific purpose. We call all those ones, we call it target savings. And we put the features of that target savings that you cannot use it for loan, you cannot use it to secure somebody's loan, you cannot then withdraw at any time. And there is no excuse because it's a manner that, I need this money. The person, in fact, we don't even use it for business. Say, this person says he needs this money 6 months time, 8 months time, or it's for Hajj purpose, if for buying a car, specific one. We categorize all of them together. But because we know that we have issue in our capital approach and say, when will I wait? Say a specific year, or maybe after the year end, I want to say, hey, remember here come. People have different capacities at different time. Somebody that has capacity of 2 million today may not have it tomorrow. What we now do is that we put features of our savings, because we have two savings. We have the ordinary one and we have that target savings. That target savings is what you can collect at any time. But the other saving, we put it as a features that you cannot, that is not withdrawable until you want to withdraw from the member. Then it's being used for the business and you form part of dividend. In a way, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to take that savings bit by bit and bit by bit and make it to qualify for the features of capital. That's what we do in that aspect. And by now we have it. When you now go to the under Wakif, am I correct? The cash Wakif. When you got to that place, you always see similar. That those people, there could be some people that are savings. They
you
don't
mean
actually
cash
have
what?
money for.
You mean cash what?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, there are some of them that they already have savings, all those savings. Now, those savings, they are qualified as a depositors without being a member. Some of them like that. And those people too, and as you said, that I want to collect money from outside, they will actually be looking for an incentive or whatever for giving them money, which is part of what we try to do in terms of our structure. That's in respect of that. I just wanted to guide us more, or if there is any lapses there. The second one is in the set of my own area, the accounting finance side. You know, when you talk about share capital, I want us to talk about it very, very necessary. You know, when we say nominal, you know where nominal is coming from. It looks like more of legal, but it's more of a finance and accounting. Nominal means that at the beginning, when I've done nothing, what is the price of these shares? What is the price of this company at day zero? Then as I do businesses, if I wait till 1 year, if I go for the structure that you mentioned, when you want to raise additional capital, I wait towards the end of the AGM or towards the end of the accounting year, and I raise it so that that shares will now run from the second or the following year. What it means that going by the structure of the reserve that you mentioned, I'm not distributing all the money I make as dividend. Some go to some reserves. What it means that some reserves is now becoming the value of the company in case of bankruptcy. That means if the share capital of that company started with 100 million and you have made a profit of 10 million, instead of it to become 110, you distributed 5 million as dividend, and 5 million is inside those several reserves. That's 105. And as at the time that you have not distributed what's inside that reserve, and you go into bankruptcy or somebody want to value you, they form part of the value. That means anybody that is bringing money in as additional capital is not buying the share at nominal value, because the company or the cooperative is no more at nominal. And that's the summation of the reserves as well as capital that the person is going to pay. When the person now pay for this accumulated reserve too, proportionately to the shares that is bringing, then it means that he too can now share pari passu with the people that started before, because he has already paid for the reserve they have generated over periods. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a very good contribution. We thank you so much. I'm going to respond to one issue quickly so that I don't forget before I call. The next person that will speak will be Sister Farida. But before then, let me clarify the aspect of the structuring that most cooperative, I'm aware of this, that they will say they have general savings and target savings. You will see that I've referenced the provision of the law. That is even contrary to the law. Because by even the structure under the law, savings is not meant to be used for loan. there is already provision for facility fund loan. You can check the law. So when members have their savings is supposed to be what your cooperative and others usually refer to as target saving. So in essence, in Islamic finance, mixing of funds is always very, very important. There are some funds that you must not mix them together. Otherwise, you create contractual imbalance. For instance, you also mentioned, which is what most cooperatives also do. They will say they are using savings for business. Now, the same person that you will claim that he has savings with you and within the very relevant financial year, which you will think or say that you have used his savings for business, that same person must have taken loan. Does he actually have fund with the cooperative as part of that target saving? Because the target saving will have been used as part of the collateral for these loans you give him under the general saving. So that is why we need to separate that. There is nothing proper under the law and the Sharia in classifying your savings into target savings and general savings, because it creates confusion. Savings is savings, and it is meant for members to withdraw it when they need it. If you want to have another fund for loan facility, you have that as loan facility fund, and it's not mandatory that every member must subscribe to it. It's not mandatory, because I understand that you deduct certain amount of money directly from the savings of member, and you say it goes to the general savings, thereby making every member to subscribe to loan facility fund, which is not in line with the law and the Sharia. Because in there must be that consent, that I consent that I want to benefit. Some members are not interested in benefiting from loan. They are not interested. But when you now deduct certain amounts from their savings, taking it directly to what we call general saving for the purpose of loan, it means you have made them to subscribe to that without any contractual and voluntary agreement with you. Because what we have to look at in the aspect of Sharia compliance, one, we have to look at the contractual implication of whatever we are doing. And we also look at the halal and the haram issues in our dealings. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, it's back. I think it's supposed to be back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So there was sort of now. So I hope you got the point I'm making with regards to that. So that in the aspect of Sharia principles, halal, whatever, and as well as the contractual implication is very, very important. So let's hear from Sister Farida.
No, you did not finish you didn't talk about second one.
What is
about the issue about nominal shares and the price of shares and values of shares.
Yes, there is an aspect when we get to the next slide, we are going to clarify that.
Okay.
Yeah. Please unmute yourself, Sister Farida. Please, can you speak up? We cannot hear you. You are speaking from a distance. If you have to be closer to your speaker, please. It's still not loud.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, this is better.
So, a lot of the questions that I had has already been answered as time went on. But just two that I needed to get some clarification on. The first one is whether there is any authority that conducts periodic examination on the Islamic Cooperative to ensure Sharia compliant practices. That is one. And secondly, in a situation where
Hello? I think your network is not stable. I couldn't hear you.
grant,
I did not hear your second question.
Okay, the second question is on grant. I'm trying to say in a situation whereby a cooperative was able to secure grant from donor agency, how do you structure the grant in the financial statement of the cooperative?
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly. Maybe you are on transit or something.
No, I'm not on transit.
Please, can you move closer to the speaker of your phone or laptop or whatever you are using so that we can hear you louder and clear?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
can you hear me
speak
now?
up.
Okay. The second question, I said, in a situation whereby the cooperative was able to secure grant from donor agency, so how do you structure the grant in the financial accounts, in the accounts of the cooperative? Okay.
So the first question on whether there is any regulatory body, we don't have that specifically, but at the state level, you submit your annual report. And what we are saying is that, those who are at the state level in charge of cooperative, most of them, they are not very much conversant with the principle required for proper operation of Islamic Cooperative. But as a manager, you will know that it's your responsibility to have your Sharia compliance report as well. So that is about that. Then for the grants, that one can go into the depositors fund, the third-party fund, where we can have it as a third party and you can be constituted into cash work for the purpose of benefiting the members. So that one will be for the empowerment of our members. That's why we have said that the cooperative can also engage in empowerment activities. So I hope that addressed your question.
Yes, Doctor, thank you very much.
Okay. Now, Brother Lukman Taiwo, please, let's make it snappy.
Well, I'm going to be snappy about it. Jazakumullah khairan, Doctor. We have actually benefited a whole lot from your wealth of knowledge. Jazakumullah khairan. My first question is, where does honorarium comes in? Because I discovered that when you started mentioning various deductions that has to come into play, okay, does honorarium also come in that line? That's my first question. My second question, I think I own cooperative like 10 years of plus, but with what you have said today, it means there are still quite a number of things that we need to do. We need to do right, except there are some that we are doing is only that with the name you have attached to it. For example, if someone and is putting his money. We don't call it share. The money is putting it, we are dividing it into two, 60-40. 40 as a saving, then the 60 as investment. The investment, you cannot touch it, okay? It's going to be there until if we decide to design as a member of cooperative. But for the 40%, we call it saving, and that is the amount he has if you actually want to take loans. But in this case, it seems that you have said that the saving is not necessarily for loan, but except if it is attached to a name is attached to it as a saving that is meant for loan. Can we now call it saving for loan? Or which other name can we call that very amount, which is the 40% of the 100 that we have tagged for that purpose?
Let me quickly come in. The 40% you said every member, when they make any payment savings, you deduct for investment, you defraud. That investment you are talking about cannot be what constitutes shares. It doesn't equate shares because the shares is at the point of joining the cooperative in the first place. And annually, when there is opening for subscription to more shares. So when a member is saving every month, his savings is for his savings. If his savings for a particular package, it should be for that. And if you want to have a fund for the purpose of a loan, that would be your loan facility fund, which members who want to subscribe to that will also be saving into that for that purpose every month. So that will make your account to be neat, and all the contractual issue that should be catered for would have been properly addressed. So I hope that address your first issue. Then the issue of honorarium. Honorarium is only meant for somebody who render you a service, like your consultant. But for somebody who is carrying out the activities for the cooperative as what do we call it? Executive, the contractual structuring that will be between them is what we have mentioned. They are operating as the agent of the cooperative, while the cooperative is also having a kind of contractual relation with the members, a kind of mudoraba. So in that regard, it is from the mudoraba shares of the cooperative that the executive will get their own return as a agent of the cooperative, but not that if they render this service, they will say they want to collect honorarium or whatever. So that is not the way the business is done. So I hope that clarified your issue. So, Brother Muritala, okay. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, the participants. I just want to advise. I want to believe one of the objectives of this training is what we are seeing here. If you want to address all the issues applicable to all the cooperatives, I believe Hello, am I being heard? I don't know whether my point is well understood.
Sorry, I lost connection. Maybe others heard you, but I did not hear you. I hope others heard you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, we heard him. We heard his comment.
Okay. So I hope the point is taken. So finally, Techno CMCs, before we call Engineer Tunde and we proceed, because time is actually running out of against us. Yes. Techno CMCs, please unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I have one myself. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Was whether we are Sharia compliant or not, just for us to know, because we'll be giving feedback after this training, is that the way we practice, that when the cooperative was established, we make it mandatory that we have saving. And what we use the saving for is that if you want to borrow, you can borrow twice of your saving. That saving, the saving account is not using for anything rather than for the loan of the members. And you can have that opportunity to borrow until when you are about 6 months old in the cooperative. The second, another window of the tools that we are using, that you cannot even only borrow, you have to have minimum of 20,000 in the shares of the cooperative. And it is that share account that we are using for the business we are carrying out. So I just want to find out that if that is compliance with Sharia or not. Salam alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. What you call savings is just your loan facility fund. So if the members will have their savings will be something they have access to at any time for whatever purpose they are saving. So
yes,
yeah.
That saving is what we use for the loan.
That's what I'm saying, that you are just calling it savings, but even under the law recognizes it as your loan facility fund, not savings. Because the savings of member is what is meant for them to use at their own need, not the one that will be tied down for the purpose of loan.
That means that the name saving must be removed and put
the name has to be removed, because in the Sharia contractual structuring, it will be creating a lot of confusion. That is why we are saying that if you subject your report, the report of your activities, for Sharia auditing, these are some of the things that are going to be pointed out to you, that this has Sharia issue and all that, and your Sharia auditor will clarify for you the Sharia issue there for proper advice.
My second question is that during your presentation, you said that the member has to subscribe based on the nominal value of what we want to give. Let's assume that we have nominal value of share of 1 million, and then at 1,000 per shares. If member have to be shares for that 1,000, meaning that we can have, let's say everybody member have one share, meaning that we can only have 100 members. How can we now be able to increase our membership of the cooperative if our nominal value is based on our members?
No. At any time, you can always increase your shares if they have exhausted subscription to your shares. And that is why the value of your each share should not just be value that we make you to have just little money, even when members have subscribed to so many of your shares. So if you have 1 million shares, for instance, at the subscription to 50,000, just 50,000 out of 1 million, you should have gotten a lot of money to do business. So that when new members come, because as new members come, they subscribe to the shares. So, and if the shares is exhausted, you have the right to request for to the relevant authority at the ministry that you want to increase the shares of your cooperative. So there's no end to shares. If the shares you have are exhausted, then you also float new shares. It's a continuous thing. So that should not be a problem, inshallah. So Engineer today, please.
Thank you very much, Prof. Myself and Musa Moebi that asked the question earlier were in the same cooperative. So this is one of the values that we want to take out of this training. You mentioned that funds of members is their savings. It is not for cooperative use. So as he has mentioned now, we have separated it into target savings. That's people putting money for maybe marriage, buy a car, school fees. That one is withdrawable and it's not used for cooperative activity. However, we have a monthly compulsory savings, which we put as a minimum of 5,000 naira, which we told our members that it is not withdrawable and is for cooperative use. So that one is the one that we need clarity on. That monthly compulsory 5,000 naira that people are putting as savings, that we told them that they cannot withdraw except they withdraw membership and that cooperative is using it. Should we still maintain that fund or should we rename it something else? Thank you, Prof.
Now, the contract's principle is that of voluntary. A cooperative even emphasize voluntariness in the, as far as members are concerned. That freedom is very important. You don't compel members to make savings of certain fixed amount. The responsibility which members have is that they have to make savings every month. And it is left for them to determine what purpose they are making the savings. You may have minimum amount of saving that they can make, and the saving does not even have to be every month. They should be able to make their savings at whatever time. Now, I got some money and I feel like saving for certain things. Instead of me taking the money to the bank, I can send it to the cooperative account for savings. Savings is supposed to be a kind of financial plan, liberal financial plan for members that will make them to always feel relaxed that they have something they can back. I mean, they can resort to a kind of a rainy days safeguard for them. So if you say they should save 5,000 per month, and you say it's for the cooperative, that is not the way business of the cooperative should be done. Because the question would be that, what is the contractual basis for you doing that? Because everything you are doing with your members, there must be a Sharia basis for it, contractually. Because it's a contract, it's a business. You must have reason for justification. What is the contract? Not that everything the cooperative will not decide as if the members are their slave. They are not their slave. We are doing business together. So making certain amount compulsory, then also you are saying it's not for the, it's for the cooperative. There is no basis for that in the Islamic Cooperative. What belongs, you can see from the savings, the savings that we have mentioned. Look at this. You can see what belongs to the cooperative is the share capital. Share capital is the fund of the cooperative which is asked to manage properly. Any other thing is has to do with members and agreement. If the one that they call investment fund, saving, it could be, but that one is also part of the savings of member, that if the cooperative, we are going to, it's just that we don't have so much time. We have a lot of things to cover. There's an aspect where we are going to give you case studies of how things are done. We have what we call SIF, Special Investment Fund. That Special Investment Fund is for members, apart from the share capital, that if a member wants to, on a personal arrangement with the cooperative, that I have this fund, I want you to invest it for me. It will be a kind of a special mudoraba between the cooperative and that member. So they can have that savings, investment saving, by which anytime a special investment comes in, you will help that member, and it will be a personal contract between the cooperative and that member. It's also another way by which you generate income for members. But honestly, we, like I told you, this training used to be series for almost Saturday, Sunday, like 3 times series like that. But because of the cost and time, That's why we are just trying to manage to give you something which we believe at the end of the day you have value and we whet your appetite. So that savings that you call mandatory is not Sharia compliant because you are making members to do something contrary to even the principle of cooperative, the standard principle of the cooperative. So now let's move on. I hope we have been able. Oh, let me share the screen again. We are clear with the stage we have gone. So I believe. Okay. So now let's quickly move because time is not on our side. So tomorrow the VP, because in my own slide, eventually I've combined even the aspect of other modules together for you. So we will be left with the module 2 and 5 probably tomorrow. And if I have time, I will also share some other ones. So here now, we also mentioned the issue of, we are looking at the activities. So we have mentioned the issue of operation of a Sharia compliance bylaw, then use of Sharia compliant cooperative accounting standard. Then after this, we also want to emphasize that we are now in the age of ICT. Is this thing still being recorded? I'm not sure. Oh, okay, it's still recorded. Now, so you should also explore ICT for effective management of your cooperative in terms of achieving effective communication and transparency. So we have what we call fintech cooperative practices now, by which you explore the cooperative. Right now, I'm outside Nigeria. The activities of our cooperative as one of the admin, if I have to attend to anything, I attend to it where I am here, notwithstanding that I'm not in the country, because we operate online. Our own cooperative is even fully online cooperative, that members don't need to be sitting down somewhere and be doing all this weekly or monthly meeting. And we continue with our activities, because that will also save costs and it will save your energy and time. Then we should also explore social media outlets. We noticed that, and anybody can try it, search for Islamic Cooperative in Nigeria. If our cooperative, Tawakkul Cooperative, is not brought as number 1, it will be number 2 or number 3, because only very few cooperatives are online. Facebook is there for us to explore. The WhatsApp, Telegram, all these different platforms, they are there for us to promote our cooperative activities. So we need to be much more present on the social media, talking about what we do, and for people to know how much of our services that can be explored. Then every member, a cooperative should also have its website. Only very few cooperatives, they don't take it as something important, and it's very, very extremely important. So for those who just want to start cooperative, start with all these standards. You build your website, it makes your cooperative to be corporate and to be well managed, and members will be having portal system. They will know how much they are saving, if they make the savings, how their entries, accounting, whatever. If they make withdrawal, you can generate even statement of accounts for members through that platform. Alhamdulillah, at Tawakkul, we design the structure that will cater for all necessary needs of cooperative in coming up with our own website, and the portal we design for members. There was one of the notable scholar of Islamic finance. who is outside the Kwara State, where we are based, he approached that he was interested in joining our cooperative for the purpose of floating a kind of workflow. So after he joined, and we created his portal. Upon assessing the portal, the report he sent to me was that he was going to report Tawakkul to CBN. I did not understand what he meant. I said, Prof, what happened? What have you done? He said, this is more than a portal for a cooperative. This is an Islamic finance portal. Because everything you will say you need in terms of financing, in terms of member savings, in terms of activities, is well structured in our portal. So this is kind of the thing that we should also look at to ensure that we go IT in our activities and operation. Then, as Islamic cooperative managers, like any profession or any professional, we have code of conduct for the cooperative as well as individual as professional. Number one is discipline and record keeping. We understand that the ministry, they have one regimented record that they always give to the cooperative to keep. But those records, most of them are outdated. We need to keep our record of transaction, and it makes it easy when we are online. Then we should also be emphasizing the duties of members. Because members, their focus is just about their rights and privileges and benefits. But what are their duties? We have said one of their duties is for every member to be shareholder of the cooperative. In the first place, nobody should be able to become a member without being a shareholder. Then after becoming a member, they have the responsibility to be savings every month, whatever they choose. But it's not for a member to be passive, because if they are not saving, it means they are no longer committed to the cooperative. Then they must be patronizing the business of the cooperative. It's a cooperative duty upon members. It's not optional. So as a cooperative, we could have our policy that any member who does not meet the required patronage per financial year could be expelled from the membership, because a passive member is a burden to a cooperative. Only active members are beneficial to the cooperative. So there must be policy on patronage of the business of the cooperative. Likewise, attendance at meetings is also part of the duties of members. Then we must also engage dispute avoidance and management. We must have our policy on how to avoid dispute. Because some members, they can be so annoying. They are not making any meaningful contribution to the cooperative, but they will be the one raising unnecessary complaint, making unnecessary complaint. So how do we want to ensure that we avoid such that, and when disputes arise, we should manage it? We should not allow it to degenerate to the point that the image of the cooperative will be damaged. So I must tell you that in our own Tawakkul, the person responsible having all the quality to engage, to address dispute and all of this, there are two of our team. One of them is here, that's our VP, and the other one is Barrister Nejmuddin Adeoye. So two of them, they are the one when issues arise. So we ask them to go and resolve it because they seem to be more patient than people like me. And they could tolerate some insults that may come from some members where one is trying to explain some things to them. So you must have such a kind of mechanism, people that you know among your members, that when disputes arise, you'll be the one to take it up to address it, because the reputation and image of the cooperative is also very important. Then we should also be collaborating and networking with other cooperatives, with other institutions in the aspect of investment. You cannot be a lone ranger. you look for other similar institutions, cooperative. You can invest your fund with another cooperative that is more active than your own. It's not necessary that the investment must be carried out by you. In fact, we have what we call a kind of umbrella cooperative, where some cooperatives can also come together to form another cooperative, tertiary cooperative. So in the area of knowledge sharing, you should collaborate with institutions and product development for specific needs of each cooperative. Of each cooperative. Your services will be better packaged when you design them into products. I'm going to share some experience with you if the time will permit us. So these are the operational code of conduct. Then likewise, it is important that we take the capacity building of our members seriously. It's not an option to a cooperative not to educate its members. In fact, annually, you are required to have an educational activity for your member, at least one, where member will be trained. They will be better enlightened concerning the how cooperative operate. So this will also assist you as the manager to save a lot of stress. Because if your members understand what you do, it saves you energy of complaints here and there. But if they don't understand, it becomes an issue. For instance, in our own cooperative, we don't give loan, and this is well understood to every member, even before they join the cooperative. So there will not be any issue of anybody coming up and saying, we need loan, you are not giving loan, what kind of cooperative are you? Because in the first place, you have been properly educated, and we emphasize it that we are a non-loan cooperative. So this is part of the reason why we even floated this TICC, Tawakkul Institute of Corporate and Cooperative Studies. And we also want to encourage the participants here that you don't limit, if you are just president or one executive member, don't limit this kind of training to yourself alone. You create avenue for your members to also benefit, because the more they are enlightened, the better members they will be for you, and the better for the growth of the cooperative. So as individual, we can also see that there are also career opportunities in Islamic cooperative. When you have an Islamic cooperative, it can be a fund manager. You can engage in fund management using the provision for third-party fund. You can invite people to deposit fund with your cooperative, and you manage it for them. There's no law against that. Using Mudoraba or Wakala, they are called friends of the cooperative, and the law recognizes them. If they have fund and they know that your cooperative is doing well in times of investment, they can give their fund to you to manage for them. And whatever is generated will be shared with them on the basis of either Mudoraba or Wakala. Then financial services. We have been looking at for alternative to money lending. There's provision in the law, money lending law across the country. So what could be the Sharia, alternative to money lending business is, for one, you can register a cooperative and be engaging in financing services. It's a good platform for that. And investment facilitation and management. You can also be facilitating investment as well as managing it for others. Then consultancy and advisory is also a career for those who may want to specialize in the Islamic cooperative. And of course, academics as well. I'm happy that we have a brother doing his PhD. So I'm also happy to report that through this our training, we have also been able to produce a PhD holder in a cooperative. Because the brother joined, we got to know each other through our training. He was doing his research in PhD, and he got stuck completely. And luckily for him, he got to attend one of our training. And after the training, we got to be interacting, and he was able to complete his study.
We can't hear you again, sir.
Prof, we lost you for some time, please.
Okay, I'm talking about the careers opportunities. I'm talking about those who want to specialize in academics. That we were privileged to be able to motivate and provide a kind of guidance path for a brother who was on his PhD in the area of Islamic Cooperative. And he got stuck, but after attending our training, one of our trainings, he became much more enlightened. And within 1 year, he was able to complete his remaining part of his PhD. And today, we are very good friends and who remains very glad for attending our training. So it's also an area which we can explore. And also becoming a proprietor of a cooperative. Some people will say there is nothing like funder or whatever. There is funder in cooperative. That is where the issue of shura will come in. When you're cooperative, you are the one that fund a cooperative as the proprietor. You will remain relevant by being on the shura and even be the chairman of shura. So there may be change in the executive, whatever, but in the aspect of shura, because the shura will also be considered as part of the executive that is carrying out a kind of wakala services for the cooperative, while the cooperative is having Mudoraba contract with the members on the basis of Robulumat and Modori. So this is also a kind of a career opportunity. Then this is the conclusion for this part of the modules. So we can see we have a lot to cover. So I will just summarize the part. The second part is not much, so we can quickly proceed to read without necessarily talking about this conclusion. So we have references here. Now, the part 2 has to do with governance membership. This is going to be a kind of foundation for what you are going to be discussed, that is going to be discussed with you, that will be discussed in Module 2 by our Vice President with you tomorrow, inshallah. First lecture.
I think we lost you there. We can't hear you further, Doctor.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Negative.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear now.
Okay. I think it's network fluctuating. So I'm saying that the other part is just a kind of foundation for what we are going to be taking through tomorrow. So let me quickly discuss the part 2, which is not much. This has to do with the governance, membership, and administrative structuring models for Islamic Cooperative, which we have discussed some of them. But I want to bring in some more emphatic.
We can't hear you. We cannot hear you.
Oh.
Doctor, the network is cracking seriously.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Oh, okay. I think when you see me is when you can hear me. So I'm saying that we are just going to talk briefly about this governance. You are going to have much more of it tomorrow in the module 2. And that module 2 will be shorter based on what I'm going to share with us now, so that we'll be able to talk about the aspect of the aspect of Islamic product development. Then before we now have the last modules on Sharia governance. I mean, Sharia compliance and auditing and risk. Now, the issue of governance, when we talk of governance, we say is the activity of governing a country or controlling a company or an organization. The way in which a country is governed or a company or institution is controlled. So that is what governance means. But the cooperative governance is the institutional method, ways, modalities, or arrangement put in place for effective management, operation, control, and running of a cooperative, and if an Islamic cooperative, to ensure Sharia compliance in its activities. So these are what we have been talking about all this while. And the aspect of the membership also, we have talked about it. Let me just move over those ones that we have talked about. Now, what is cooperative standard governance? We have also defined this as the method or ways, modalities. Islamic cooperatives also have its own modalities of operation. This is very important for us as part of our takeover. So we have mentioned all of these relevant law. I'm trying to recap them so that you know their emphasis. If you are a cooperative manager, it's not a matter of not being a lawyer. You must be familiar with the provision of all these relevant legal instruments and the regulation, as well as the bylaw and policy of your cooperative. So now, the bylaw, how is it structured? We said we must have Sharia board, which may be ad hoc or external. That is, you may have Sharia board, which is part of members of your cooperative, or you can contract it to an external person. Then there must also be internal Sharia review and audit, and as well as the external. Then you must also focus on the Sharia compliance risk. Our expert in this area is going to talk about that tomorrow, inshallah. Sharia compliance risk, we must understand them and be able to ensure that we pay attention to them in our activity, because they are just like virus, which if care is not taken, you may not suspect that they are already eating into the good of your cooperative. So those are the Sharia compliance risks. And you must address the primary objective of Sharia compliant governance is for you to address Sharia non-compliance risks that may afflict your cooperative. So all of these are very, very important. So in the area of the Sharia compliant governance, we said that you can have a full-fledged standard where you have your Sharia board that is for you, or you have an abri of Sharia advisory board, or doing all of the works of Sharia advisory, consultancy, whatever. I believe that tomorrow you are going to have much more details about Sharia compliance structuring and others. Then the membership also, your members do not necessarily have to be individuals. You can have corporate bodies as your members. For instance, schools can be members of your cooperative. So that is why in your membership, you can have individual membership and corporate membership. Like
we can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you again.
Oh my God.
Your network is fluctuating, sir.
Yeah, I thought. I hope it's better now. Right?
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm saying that your members do not necessarily have to be individuals. You can have provision for corporate membership, where corporate institutions like schools, hospitals, even another cooperative or company can also be member of your cooperative. Then the requirement is that your members, individuals, should not be less than 18 years. Or if a member, a child, somebody who is less than 18 years want to be a member, it can be so through another member who will be representing him. So that one is referred to in the law as membership by proxy. Then by law, members are required to be within or in your cooperative is required to be in occupation or within residence within or in occupation of land, the registered society areas of operation. That is, if your members, except we now have an open membership cooperative where members spread across the country. And that's why this provision of the law has problem and is no longer in tune with the modern reality. But with the once somebody is in Nigeria, regardless of where is residing, is considered to be resident in Nigeria. So that should not be a problem. Then we have talked about all of this, the codicil, Assan model, and order. The power to make bylaws. This is very, very important. And it is a good advantage for every Islamic cooperative. For us to know that no regulatory authority has the right to impose a draft or a particular format of bylaw on any cooperative. The bylaws of every cooperative should be in tune with their aims and aspirations. So it's not compulsory that everything must be the same in terms of what you want to structure. For instance, the cooperative may choose to just have president, secretary, and treasurer as the executive, while others may have more than that. So you spell out all of this in your bylaw. So like section 4 of the Lagos regulations and section...
Please, sir, can you repeat your statement, please? Please, can you repeat your earlier statement because we lost you at that point? Talking about the power to make bylaws, please.
Yes. So I was saying that every cooperative is given the power under the law to make its own bylaw. Not that...
Your network is not good, sir.
Oh my God.
The network
is bad.
Can you hear me now?
It's better now.
Okay. Just bear with me. I think there's maybe there's issue with the network. I'm saying that every cooperative has power to make its own bylaws, not that the regulatory authorities will impose bylaw on them, unlike what is being done by most of the regulatory bodies, the ministry. So you design your own bylaw. That is why when we consult for people, cooperative on bylaw, we ask them, what are the unique things that you want your cooperative to be known for? In terms of your aspiration for your members, in terms of your operational structure, whatever. So all of this will be catered for in your bylaw, spelling out relevant contractual provision. So in the regulation, it's stated that the appointment, suspension, and removal of members of the committee and officers, and the powers and duties of the committee and officer can be stated in the regulation. What we are saying is that apart from certain things, minimum requirement that you must spell out this thing in your bylaw. Any other thing is left to the discretion of individual cooperative. The law requires that you should spell out the appointment, suspension, and removal of members of the committee and officers, and the power and duty of the committee and officer. Apart from all of this, any other thing regarding your business, your membership, your anything is left at your discretion. So your bylaw is your instrument to decide how you want your cooperative to operate. So in that regard, we can conclude that the bylaw is the key instrument. Whatever challenges you have that you think, is it possible we meet up with this? How do we do this? Use your bylaw to shape the structure of your cooperative. And it's required that the liability should be limited. Share structuring should be spelled out in your bylaw. Sharing formula, all of this, Mudoraba, whatever, you can spell it out in your bylaw, the contractual structuring, everything that we have talked about. Like any sector of Islamic finance, Islamic cooperative also require requisite skills and acquisition. So we emphasize knowledge is very, very important for executive as well as the members of the cooperative. So I believe with this, we have been able to lay a very good foundation for us and exposing us to see better aspects of Islamic cooperative as a business entity, which has a lot of job opportunity for us. So I believe and I pray that Allah make this beneficial to each and every one of us. So while we will be continuing tomorrow, so let's take little contribution in the next few 6 minutes. We have 6 minutes left to conclude this session. Jazakumullah khair. So whoever wants to contribute should kindly make it snappy. Please indicate by raising up your hand so that we can quickly call. Yes. Muhibi.
Assalamualaikum sir.
Walaikum salam.
For the detailed presentation, Doctor. We really appreciate you. I like continue to enrich you in knowledge. Yeah, just a quick one. We just wanted to clarify for all of us. You mentioned something during the presentation as regards when a member wants to withdraw. You know, the share capital qualify him to be the member. And when he's going, you said, I know you mentioned that you said to a member. I know you mentioned that, but I wanted to clarify because I actually know the aspect of what you are saying very well, which is under, in a corporate world, we call it preemptive clause. When you have a limited company, a company that is not a registered, it's not a quoted company, but just a limited, not a public limited company, or limited company, or a private company. When a private company, the shareholders of private company, when they wanted to leave, there always be a preemptive clause that the first level of transfer of that shares is to the member, otherwise to the company. Now, this particular one, I think some of us understand is going, or they want to withdraw his membership. Because we look for members to buy. And if there is no member to buy, that means there is no way for him to transfer to a seat. Can you please clarify for us?
Yes, that's the point that you have put it in a better way. So it's for him to first make the members to the cooperative can advertise to members, interested members, to take it up. If there's no members, then he can look for another person who will take over the shares. And for that reason, that new person is becoming the member of the cooperative. But there's another solution that I'm still working on, is how we are going to explore workflow to address this issue when the member is even challenged to even get a member. That when we have our workflow, it can also be a way of the cooperative strengthening its workflow fold, but it's still at the research level, so I don't have any concrete analysis to share now. But it's just the way you have stated it, and that is why it will be reflected in our bylaw on the procedure for sharing, even the procedure for withdrawal. Because a member, they will say, I want to withdraw, and today, or tomorrow, I want my money back. Where is it done? So it's not done like that. So we need to have a clear provision in our bylaw concerning all of this. Right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. At least what you are saying is that the cooperative too may buy it back from the person if we don't see somebody to take it over.
Yes, that's
Well, that's
exactly
what
what
private
I'm
companies
saying.
normally do.
That because you
Okay,
see,
thank you.
there is an aspect I'm looking at that in the, a separate personality of the cooperative itself. Because we are looking at when the cooperative will also be able to stand on its own, with or without any existing members. So that for instance, if you have a member that has a very large shares in the cooperative and he withdraws, so although with the arrangement that the shares, that will not affect the fund of the cooperative, because automatically it means we are going to have another person taking his place. So you will see that with our share holding, share capital also, it also saves us the fear, because of cooperative will be panicking. If a member say you want to withdraw and withdraw his savings, which they are already using for business and whatever, it becomes challenging. But if it is the relevant business fund, which is our share capital that we are using for business, withdrawal of any member is not going to constitute any threat to the cooperative. So I hope that clarified the issue.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Now, Brother Olayinka, please quickly. We have 2 minutes.
All right. Okay. My own perspective regarding the transference of the shareholding, it's likely the person may like to transfer the shareholding capacity to a member of his family. How can that be resolved? That's number one. Then number
yes,
two,
if it transfers to members, what
the
matters is that that member, that new person it transfers to becomes the new member. Because the issue of whether he gives it as a gift or the person he transfers to pays to him will be a kind of personal arrangement between them. Because
exactly.
if he's transferring
So,
and the person is buying it, he will be the one to pay to. It doesn't concern the cooperative. So
exactly.
if he likes, he can sell it at lesser price. And let me also emphasize this. This is one of the things we have to do. When our members, when they subscribe, it is required that we give them their shareholding certificate so that it will be a kind of evidence of a kind of intangible property, which they can even use to transact some business, a kind of collateral. Perhaps if they need collateral, if they have so much share with us, that share certificate is also very necessary that we give to them. So, and this one I could see that is one of the trend in the scholarship analysis now that scholars are emphasizing, because so that it will transform that share subscription they have known. They will know that it is no longer liquid cash because it has transformed to share, like other companies also give share certificate. If they have that share certificate, they will know that it is no longer cash, because to members, as long as they don't have share certificate, they continue to see it as if they are keeping that money, share cash, share, what do we call it? Share capital, the share subscription, they continue to see it as if they are keeping that money with the cooperative. So we need to also be issuing their share certificate to them.
Yeah. So
yes, please go ahead. We have to conclude now. Any other thing, please?
So it can also be used. Sorry, doctor. I'm still speaking. It can also be used as be left in perpetuity as a work donation.
Yes, it can. It can.
Like you said, you're looking. It can still be used.
Yes, I told you that we have a member who subscribed to his own share as workful, and we help him to treat it as such. So whatever investment we do for him, we treat it separately. as a return from the Wakfu, which you want to be using for certain benefit. So it can be. And that is one of the areas of the linkages, relationship between Wakfu and cooperative that I will be talking on in my presentation next week, inshallah. So, Brother Kola Onifade, quickly, please. And lastly, we are going to have Engineer Tunde. And after that, we have closing remark from our VP or Brother Abdurrahman if the VP is not around.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, thank you very much for this talk. One or two important things that I feel concerned about is one, which form, I mean, looking at the law now, is appropriate for cooperators to get double on. That is, membership that needs to get, because one common thing now is that most of the people coming to Islamic Cooperative purposely to be able to get loan, which is double of whatever they say. How do we classify that vis-a-vis your position, which you have made us to know today? That's one. Secondly, in terms of buying shares, if we decide that, okay, at the beginning of the year is when we are going to sell shares, and we decided that we are selling share of, let's say, 1 million, and for whatever reason, we could only get 500. And sometimes mid-year or maybe towards the end of the year, we see somebody who said, okay, I want to buy out of this share, I want to buy more units, or just even a new person that wants to buy some units out of what you are. How do you manage such a person so that the issue of getting dividend at the end of the year, whether it's money, is actually used for what you made that year, which you are paying dividend on the following year? How do we manage it that comes in midway or even towards the end that will benefit from that dividend you are giving? Or how do you manage such, or you cut such coming in by then off, or you cannot buy once a particular time frame has passed? I want some clarification in that area to have a better grasp of how to handle such. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, in the financial institution, I'm happy that we have accountants here. Sentiment is not used in doing business. So whatever is the policy of the cooperative should have to be observed. Whoever that want to subscribe, if you only issue open share subscription just once in a year, once it is closed till the next year. So if anybody want to bring money and is fearing,
we can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, and it's important.
Hello?
Oh,
We can hear now.
Sorry, the network. So we just need to manage what is available now, please. So I'm saying that there is no sentiment in business. If the cooperative has their policy that they open the shares within a particular period of the year, once that opening is closed till when it is open again. Because for every business you do, you must account for the entitlement of every member in terms of being shareholder. If a business starts from the beginning of the financial year and somebody is coming in the midway, so how do you want to quantify what exact business has he contributed to for him to be entitled to the same dividend with those that you have used their money right from the beginning of the year. So it's a matter of part of the code of conduct of operation that you have mentioned, that you must be consistent and transparent in your dealings. So if anybody is not part of the shareholder from the beginning, it means its fund is not part of the business for the financial year. So once you have the period of admitting new member, when that period is closed, then it should be closed for that year. So finally, let's hear from Engineer Today, and then I will call on the VP to make closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Doctor. May Allah continue to increase you in wisdom. So my own question is, upon registration, the form that we give to our members, we ask them to fill in their proposed basic monthly savings, and we put not less than 2,000 naira. So this money will continue to accumulate. So the question is, since you have said that we can't use it for cooperative activity and then we cannot use it for loan, what should the cooperative use this money for?
The savings of my members is for the members, and they will be the one to determine what they want to use it for. It's not for the cooperative to determine what they use it for.
We didn't hear you, sir.
We can't hear you, sir.
Oh my God. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. I hope you got the question, sir.
Yes, I got the question. I'm saying that the savings of the member is for the members. It's for them to determine what they want to use it for. And that's why we have recommended that you should package your savings very well so that every member will be assisted to have financial plan. Oh, I want to save for education, for family welfare, health. So when there is issue of health arises, he will apply and withdraw from his savings for the health. So structuring
so doctor, remember that does not remember that does not fulfill that monthly minimum that they said. Let's say that 2,000 or that 5,000. Is there any penalty or any for not meeting up with that minimum basic monthly that they said initially?
I think there should not be any compulsory minimum. What matters is for him to save whatever he can every month, because the money is for him. The only thing is that if a member is defaulting in saving at all, that is when the issue arises.
At all.
Yes, but for the savings, in fact, it should not even be at monthly basis. In our own cooperative, members can save at any time, not necessarily on monthly, because some money can come my way. If I say it must be monthly, I have to wait till the end of the month. Then the money may go another way. So members that savings should be a financial plan freedom for members. Enable them to save at any time, save any amount, and when they need the money, they apply to withdraw their savings. So for the cooperative, you only stipulate your fee when they want to withdraw their savings, which will cater for all the expenses which you are also going to bear. And in that regard, whatever that remains will also be an income to the cooperative. So I hope that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. So I want to call on the VP. We could not hear him clearly yesterday. So please make your closing remarks so that before we close this session. VP.
Alhamdulillah. We thank God for the opportunity He has given us, and we hope that since the training is for us to learn, we have learned one or two things for today again. And inshallah, tomorrow we will hear the concluding part of the training. And we hope everybody will get something in return and have value for our payment for this training. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We want to sincerely thank you for taking out your time. Can we please open our video to have some snapshot? So we can also have some members also assisting to do the snapshots so that whatever we are not able to capture here will be captured by others. Please kindly open your video. Can you hear me, please? We request that you open your video, please.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. The videos have not been opened, though. I mean the video. Or is it my own network? We are waiting for you to open your video, please. Okay, let's recite Surah Al-Asr to end this session. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal-Asr. Inna al-insana
lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Inshallah, see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye.